Hey, it's your boy Riff. Today I have a different type of video than I usually would say that I have, and it's not a video that I really feel like that has to be put out there, but I do feel like it has to be talked about, and it sucks that it's gotten to this point, but I have to say and point this out there that the difference between man and women in reality right now is so undoubtedly draining and exhausting and crazy because one, mind you, disclaimer, let me put this out to you right now. I do not shame anybody. I'm just pointing out the facts of this is what's happening in the real world right now. So please do not take any hatred or any seriousness or self-doubt within yourself. If you know you're a good person, please stay that way. I don't want that to change for yourself or anybody, but I do want people to realize that this is how it's going as of late in reality. But the reason I'm pointing this video out is because um I have been in many situations that men and women are treated completely differently. And the reason I'm saying that is because when you when you go out in the real world or when you even go out to hang out with friends and stuff, and you just chilling, there's so much that can happen in a small amount of time and you always think that it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be positive, I got it, don't worry about me. But in reality, it's completely different than what you would think. So the reason I'm saying this is because relate, and this has to deal with relationship wise too, a lot of that. Because I have been in multiple relationships, and I've even seen it between my friends and how that goes, and that's not really good. And as everybody knows, you want your best friend to be happy, you want your best friend to be, good in life, never have any issues. But that doesn't always seem to go your way for your friends. And a story time for it between the men and women is this: it's the fact that not every way is gonna go the way that you think it would be, or how the fact that so much is happening to you that you feel alone. And I want everybody to know that you are not alone. There's places that will help you in these type of situations if you feel lost in a way. So, with that being said, I'm gonna tell the story. This story has to deal with my high school experience. So a lot of people that I know that are personally and close to me know that this one hurts even to this day. But back in my high school days, I was I asked the girl out to a dance. Now, I don't mind going to dances. I think dances are really cool, and I think it's really fun that you should be able to go hang out, do some stuff, and be like, yeah, this is fun. This is really fun. I have a good time. Guys, please be prepared for the worst, and women, please don't try to pull some last minute thing because that doesn't really look good on you, and that's not gonna be a good thing. But no, I asked this girl out that I knew years ago, growing up as a kid, and we went to high school together. And so one day, homecoming was coming up, and I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna ask this girl out that I've known for years and see how she feels about it." So I asked her out, and I was like, "Yo, are you down to go into a homecoming dance with me?" She said, "Yeah." I was like, "All right, cool. What color should I wear?" And she said black. Now we're gonna give this girl a name. We're gonna call her Janet. We'll call her Janet, right? So I asked Janet out to the dance, and she was like, "Yeah, let's go." So I was like, "All right, cool." So I was getting ready and everything, and the dance wasn't for like another week. So I was like, "All right, cool." I gives me time to plan stuff out, have stuff ready, and all that. So I asked my mom, like, "Yo, mom, I need help with getting stuff." So I had her and my grandmother help me get stuff prepared for me to do homecoming and all that goodness. But it didn't turn out the way like I wanted it to. So I ended up having to get a suit for myself and everything prepared and generated up and ready to go. Mind you, I had to pay I had to pay for my own suit and everything, and I had to get mine custom made because they didn't have the size for me. So I had to get mine custom made, which it's not always a bad thing to get stuff custom made, y'all. It's not. It's just really annoying because you do have to wait a little longer. But I had to get my suit custom made. So I was like, all right, cool. Once I had gotten my suit made, I made sure to go get the pants and everything suited and fitted. So that was stuff checked off that I needed for the dance. So I had my shoes, I had my suits, I had my pants. I had to go get a tie, and luckily I was able to get suit pants and tie all in one bundle. It was great because man, getting that stuff individually is not easy. It's very difficult actually. Just trying to get stuff like that together. So I got the stuff ready, and I was like, all right, I should have everything else ready to go before this dance. So with that being made and done, I get ready for the dance, and I start making my way to where I need to go. Only a couple days later, I asked my friend, we're gonna call him Jack. So I asked me and my friend Jack, I was like, "Yo, you going to homecoming?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm going." I'm like, "All right, cool." So me and Jack get ready to go there and everything and have fun, because it's supposed to be a simple dance, nothing too crazy, just kicking it, have fun, you know, enjoy yourself. Man, was I wrong? So I get to the dance. I show up. I'm waiting for my date and all that. So Janet, sorry, not Jack. Janet was there about 20 minutes later. But before I even got there, I had my dad drop me off because that's something. I didn't have a car in high school during that time, so it was something different for me. And I didn't really have a big issue with not having a car because most of the time I did just walk to the spots that I had to go to during school. So yeah, but no. With that being said, I had my dad drop me off. I had to get stuff ready. I was like, all right, cool. I shouldn't have to worry about everything else. So I get to the dance. I'm just sitting around, not really worried about anything. And I'm just like, all right, she's probably gonna be a little late. I'm not really worried about that, but I'm just gonna wait for a little bit. So I wait about 10, 20 minutes. She gets there. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Janet's here. Now I can be ready to hang out with her, and dance. Yo, this was the most hurtfulness I've ever seen, ever in a single person to do something to somebody. But she ended up going to the dance, but not with me. She went with another guy. And a lot of people are like, well, that sucks for you. No, I don't think a lot of people really understand that, because having to go to the dance with somebody that you said you was cool with to go with, only to end up going with another person, is really foul, and I think that's hella fair, not fair to the person that had to, set up stuff to even get there with you. I think that's hella fucked up. So I hate that I have to really put that out there, but it is what it is. So when they did that, I was hurt. I was extremely hurt, knowing the fact that an old friend of mine that I grew up together with, trying to make sure everything I had was set and ready to go, and enjoying this little nice night. That wasn't the case. So I honestly just didn't want to do anything at all. I sat in the corner for the rest of the night, and my friends were like, "Yo, what's wrong, bro?" I just jammed with one another person, and it wasn't me. So the fact that having that even hurt a type of more morale and reality in a person is really hurtful in a way. And the reason I'm saying all this now and pointing this out there is because of the fact that a lot of people don't realize that even the smallest things that you do can affect people, and that's the difference between men and women. And the second part of this, for me to even put this video out there, is the fact that men do have to really shoulder so much that it's unbearable at times. And I hate to say that, but it's really true. At the fact that at what I had went through in high school for that, and that was just one moment. That wasn't even the other thing that I want to talk about in a little bit. That's not even that. But it's the fact that you chose to go with another person and not the person that you with, not realizing how much that's gonna really deeply hurt their sense of trust in you, but in the fact of what it's really like and having to deal with that in the aftermath. So, to all the people out there that have had this problem and have had this happen to them, I really do feel sorry for you and know that you do have my sympathies. So, yeah, but on the men's side for that, it's just there's not much else you can really say besides just having to keep pushing and bearing the silence. I did have some friends, try to come up to help me later that night and try to spend time, but I honestly didn't even want to because of how hurt I was at the fact that she really did that to me. And it was the fact that she didn't do it one on one, but she did it in front of everybody in the school. So, um, that was a really deep for her thing. So, yeah, that was, that's great to have to deal with, but it is what it is. But for women to say in general, as I'm saying this, like I said earlier, do not really take offense in this. I just do want y'all to realize that what you do really can hurt men. And it's sad to say this, but it's true that y'all want us to do so much for you, but we can't even have the smallest things in life, as in just being appreciated or having to do with all this stuff that we had to make sure everything, goes decently smooth. Not even perfect, just decently smooth for us to be like, yeah, okay, I got everything, I'm good to go. But stuff like that really does damage a person. So I do hate to say this, but y'all don't realize how much y'all really do to one person in their lifestyle or in their life. Just doing that, it really does affect them. But on to the next story is knowing a friend that I'm still friends with this person in real life, and I don't know why, but I am. But I do want to say that um she's a cool person that I'm still friends with to this day. I don't hate her, but I do hate the things that she does because it does hurt. But this is a story for how I how do I say it? I I chose to pour my heart out in a way when I should have just not cared. Basically, for this one, there was this girl in high school. Um, we'll call her Alex. We'll call her Alex. Sure, why not? That seems fun. Alex and me had a really good relationship. We were really cool. We always hung out together, and she even had some of my classes. Now, I had a huge crush on Alex in my freshman year of high school, and all the way up to my senior year of high school, so 4 years. Alex was a girl that was really tough. She did have a really tough childhood, and I won't tell too much about that, but that's all you guys will get for that part of that. But she did have it tough. But she was always really nice to others. She really was caring, and I fell in love with her for that. She was cool. She could sing, man, could she sing? She was cool, could sing, could cook, could do a lot of stuff that a lot of other people can't do. Like I said, don't take too offense to that because I know somebody in the comments is gonna say, "Whoa, well, I could cook too." Of course you can. Okay, I'm not saying that nobody can't cook. Okay, I'm just saying she could cook. Okay, from the female group that I hung around because they could not cook, but she could. So let me just put that disclaimer out there. But no, and she enjoyed it. But me and her, we used to hang out a lot, really often. I was like, all right, cool. So one day I decided to tell her how I feel, and she was like, yeah, I'm sorry. I like you too, but only as a friend. Now, I took that with a grain of salt. I had a feeling it was gonna come, but you know, you miss 80% of the shots you don't take. So I was like, all right, cool. But she didn't just say just that, but it was also because she was also in a relationship at the time that I did not know. But she was in a relationship with one of my friends. So I was a little pissed, but not really like irritated. Just like, all right, cool. Because I mean, what can you really do? You're not gonna be like, well, I should beat him up. No, don't do that. So, um, I waited. I moved on for a bit, but came back later on. Within a couple months later, I asked her out again. Same thing. Only see you as a friend. I was like, all right, cool, bro. So years go by. It was the same thing. But one year, the one year that really changed my outlook on her was my junior year to towards my senior year. And this had affected me. Even now, just talking about it still affects me because it really does hurt at the fact that what she said, and she didn't realize it until the next day. But she said, I asked her, I was like, yo, how come you would date my whole friend group? Now, mind you, there was like 5 dudes in my group, and there was like 3 females. I was cool with everybody. I was the cool guy. Everybody that's got to be chill, not have a problem with anybody. Yeah, I was that type of person. So she she had told me that she was like, I don't know, I see you as the ultimate friend. Now, that's that's what triggered me. And that's what made me mad. Because when she said ultimate friend, y'all, I didn't even know what ultimate friend fucking meant. I didn't even know what that was. So I had to look it up. I had to look up what ultimate friend meant. And I honestly, now mind you, I called her on the phone when we were talking during this time because she had already finished school. So I called her and she told me that. I didn't say anything. Honestly, I was just upset, but I was quiet about it. So she asked if I was okay. I was like, yeah, I'm okay. But I was hitting the floor in my room. I was punching the wall, and she could hear that through the phone. So she decided to hang up the phone. And so she calls me back a day later, and I completely lost it for the first time ever on the phone with anybody that is a female or male, friend or foe. I completely lost it because I would never say something like that, even as a person that I feel that I'm cool with to any amount of extent. But I told her that you would date my whole friend group. You would date even my closest friends, but won't date me. But the fact that they decided to leave you and let you deal with your own problems and your own mental health. And me, I'm a good person. I will always try to see the best in everybody, no matter what, no matter how bad you are. I will always try to see the good in you because I was raised right by my parents, by my friends, no matter what the cost. I will always try to see the good in everybody. And I told her that, that's really fucked up, but the fact that you are willing to proceed to say that you won't date me only because you see me as an ultimate friend and that, I can't date my best friends. There's no problem with dating your best friends, y'all. There is not. For anybody who says that, I think it's a lie and a full of fucking shit because there shouldn't be an issue with dating your friend. There really isn't. Some people, even some friends that I know now, are dating their best friend, and they are actually living their best lives together, and I'm happy for them. But it's the fact that you decide to say ultimate friend. Like I said, didn't know what that meant, so I had to look it up. But you don't realize what you really are doing to one's person. Like I said, their morale and their sense of well-being. That, oh, I don't think you're good enough, so I'm not gonna date you. Like, you're good enough as a friend, but nothing more. That's that's what I got when she told me I was an ultimate friend. And I lashed out. I'm just like, how you gonna do that to me, when I stuck by you, every year? Because everybody wanted to leave you and not have to deal with you no more. But I was like, no, she deserves better. I want to be the one to help her get through everything, because I'm a good person. I'm the best that I can be. Even at my lowest state, I'm still gonna, put you above me because I put myself second and I put everybody else first, no matter what. That's just the type of person I am, and that's how I'm always gonna be. But to say that to somebody and not realize what you're saying and in extent is absolutely insane. So I lashed out. And she's like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that, and you deserve better. And I shouldn't have, you know, said it like that. I should have phrased it different. You decided to say that and not realize what you meant, but you weren't even like in a different state. You were in a calm state. So it begs the question of what do women really see in men? A lot. And I I hate to say that, but I really do wonder, and it makes a lot of people wonder, what do they really see in us? Like, what am I that makes you feel like I'm well enough to be able to date you, that I'm suitable for me to date you, and I meet your qualifications. That's what I got from when she said that. So from those two stories, in a small window sprint frame, and just to know about a little bit about me in high school, because I do tell some of my stories about high school and some of the stuff that I did and what it was like in school for me. But it's that one that I will never forget ever, because of how foul that really is to one person to really say that. It's astonishing. Not even in the good way, but in the worst way I could say that for astonishing. So I really want people to realize that you should not have to worry about others and what you see in yourself. That you are a good person and you always deserve to be the best person that you can be. No matter what people say about you, what people heard about you, you will always proceed to do good in yourself. And I want everybody to know that and never think less of themselves in any certain type of way. Because you are not a bad person. The people around you are shitty people, and that's just what it is. So honestly, that's the story side. As in general, as the world, and as of what I've been seeing online and videos, even in text, I say it's really crazy at the fact that people really treat human beings like a piece of shit, like we don't matter. And I hate to say that, but I'm really seeing it. And I have never treated anybody like a piece of shit in my life. Now, I may hate you. Yes, I may hate you, but I'm not gonna treat you like a piece of shit because I know better, and I'm been taught better to think like that and to see that. But I do want people to realize that there is some really shitty people out there that will use you for money, that will use you for fame, anyway, so that they feel better about themselves, so they don't have to worry about you and that you don't matter. So please, yeah, please be careful for who you see and what you're doing in life, because people out there will try to rob you for your fame and rob you for what you have, because they don't have it and they will never have it at all. So please, I want everybody to know that you are a really good person out there, no matter what. But I'm not really gonna go too much further into that. I just wanted to post some, and a lot of people have been asking where I've been. I'm sorry, I have just not been feeling like YouTube has been the best for me right now because I'm super busy. But I do have more music on the way coming out in about a week, so I do hope you guys will be happy about that and to keep showing your support to me and wondering on how I'm doing. I appreciate you guys all the way every time, so thank you all. But no, I just want people to know that um, life is not easy. Life is gonna throw a lot of curveballs at you, no matter what, and there's gonna be a lot of good people in life, and there's gonna be a lot of bad people in life. But what you do is how you see yourself to be fit, and I believe that no matter what race you are, no matter what gender you are a good person. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a good day or a good night, depending on where you're at and depending on your time zone. Um, the moral of this lesson in general, do not stop being you. I can't express that self more than what I can say now, but don't stop being you, because eventually the good will come out and your actions will show in good ways and bad ways. But if you believe that you're a good person, you should be perfectly fine. That is the moral of the story and the moral of the lesson. So I hope you guys have a good time and a good feeling. For the rest of this, it's just gonna be this. So yeah, thank you.